Welcome to Module 3, Section 12, where I will discuss the Treasury Department. It is likely that you've heard of the Treasury Department, but maybe you're not quite sure what it is they do and if it's something that you should really pay attention to. The Department of Treasury, or Treasury Department, either one is considered acceptable. This is also known by the acronym DOT. Now, in some states, that could mean Department of Transportation. But in this instance, it's Department of Treasury. It's part of the executive department. Executive means the president. This is somebody that's appointed by the president to help them oversee the Treasury Department. It was established by an act of Congress in 1789 to manage government revenue. So it's been around longer than most of the other departments that we have. This was one of the very first things that the Founding Fathers created. The department is administered by the Secretary of the Treasury, who is a member of the Cabinet which help advise the President. Janet Yellen is the current Secretary of the Treasury. She was sworn in on January 26, 2021, and some of you may know her because she was also the Federal Reserve Chair for a number of years. What you see now is the logo of the Department of Treasury, created in 1789. And they also have their own pretty little flag. The current Treasury Secretary, as I said, is Janet Yellen, who assumed the role in 2021. Here's a picture of her as Treasury Secretary. And this person will typically serve at the president's pleasure. As long as the president likes what this person is doing, they will remain. If we have a change in administration, quite often this person will change as well. So what are the responsibilities of the Department of Treasury? These functions include producing all currency, coinage, and postage stamps of the U.S. Now this means physical currency, not the currency that is created by computer. Anytime new coins are minted or new postage stamps are available to use, if you know what real mail even is, it's the Department of Treasury who issues those stamps. They also are responsible for collecting taxes, which they created their own department called the IRS, duties, which is another form of taxes or fees, and money paid to and due to the U.S. They're also in charge of paying all the bills of the U.S. Kind of haven't really done a good job with that lately. They also manage the federal finances, manage government accounts, and the United States public debt, which is growing more and more by the day. Supervising national banks and thrift institutions, which are offshoots of regular banks. Another responsibility is in advising on domestic and international financial, monetary, economic, trade, and tax policy, fiscal policy being the sum of all of these. So when the Treasury comes together and comes up with their ideas, we call that fiscal policy. And enforcing federal finance and tax laws. So this department has a lot of power, and you probably have come across it in one way or another. They're also responsible for investigating and prosecuting tax evaders. And finally, they publish statistical reports. And they have a pretty good website where you can go and read this information. It's not exactly exciting information, so if you're ever having trouble sleeping, go to their website, start reading one of their reports. You'll be out in 5 minutes. This concludes Module 3, Section 12, and I will pick up with things again in Section 13.